Beers and Birds.
Run, 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 run.
Welcome to Beers and Birds. We drink beer and we talk about the Eagles. We are podcasting from the world-famous lounge. I am Rob Wheeling. I'm here with Brad Jar Jar Weaver.
He's so thirsty.
Excellent. And Mike Young Anakin Wallace.
He's the key to all of this.
The key to all of it. Sean Moneyball Cottrell is not here this evening. He is Mr. Momming it, taking care of the little ones. Way to go, Sean. We are on the GrandstandSportsNetwork.net. You can also listen to us on iTunes and Stitcher. And since you love the B&B, why don't you guys give us a nice rating? We could really use some 5-star ratings. You can tell us how much you love Jar Jar. Anything you want, just give us the 5 stars. And if you put hashtag Jar Jar as the center of it all, we're going to send you a koozie. I don't care. We're making that happen. Keep up with our beer selections at Beers and Birds Pod on the Untapped app. And then check out our blogs and such at beersandbirds.com. You want to say hello to us? Come find us on Twitter at Beers and Birds. This pod, we're going to do a Falcons preview for the Birds' first playoff game this year.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
I just hope they can win a game.
That's right. So we're going to take a look at the playoffs, do a little around the league. But first, Mike, what beer are we drinking today?
Isa the Sour Beer. We're doing the Cellar Blender, courtesy of the new Belgium Brewing Company. This is a bit of a limited release. I got it in a 12-pack. There was like a Blender's Brew variety, if you will. The Cellar Blender Sour Ale. I've seen it labeled the American Wild Ale as well, I believe.
Shit.
Yeah. It's got an interesting taste to it.
That's not what I expected. I mean, because the color's so dark.
It's kind of interesting how many different beers can be considered sours. I was familiar with the Gosa, which is one of my favorite sours, but also the American Wild Ale, which this is.
Yeah.
Berliner Weiss, Flanders Red Ale, Lambic, in addition to the Gosa, and Ode Bruin can all be considered sours. So,
okay.
Ghosts are lighter than this, right? That's what I'm thinking.
They generally are. And each one of those types of beers has a different kind of thing in it. Like a Lambic is made with fruit to sour and a secondary fermentation. And some of these other beers have different styles, but they all have a sour component to them. So it's kind of interesting.
Where do they get the sour component?
It's a wild yeast. And actually, kind of the funny thing about it, if you go back through brewing history before modern brewing where, so much science is involved, that all beers were initially sours to some extent because you would use wild yeast. A lot of the times the cooling process would happen outside in the air and they would wait for wild yeast to ferment it. So it was wildly unpredictable how long it would take to have these batches be ready to drink. And there was no consistency amongst the flavor.
The alcohol and stuff too?
Yeah, it was all different. So, I mean, we're talking hundreds of years ago.
Right,
So
sure.
it's not
Monks.
like where somebody's just running into a tavern and like, I need to get drunk. They're not really worried about like sniffing the glass and looking at the head and all the crazy things we do. Mm-hmm. But, they're more concerned about getting drunk. But as far as
they're just trying to anything to take away the monotony.
right,
of
they
that
didn't.
time.
They hadn't identified at that time how to replicate, like what was the cause of the sour taste and how to replicate it. So they would get it from wild sources. So there was no consistency even at places that made their own beer. There wasn't consistency amongst batches, and you may try something one time and they try to reproduce it and it tastes completely different a year down the road. I always thought that was kind of interesting. And
That's
then
pretty cool.
Yeah, where some of the beers use other strains of yeast. Generally, sours use Lactobacillus or Brettanomyces. Those are the two main ones that they use to add the sour component. In the lambics, too, there's a secondary fermentation with a fruit, where the fruit can actually cause the souring of the beer as well. So,
I thought lambics were usually fruits. Yeah.
Yeah.
just a little...
Like cranberry lambic
And
sticks out of my head.
tarts, yeah.
Just an interesting background on it. When people say a sour, well, what is a sour? Well, sour can be multiple kinds of beers. It's just saying that it's sour, but there are 5 different styles that are the main sours out there. So we just happen to have the American Wild Ale from New Belgium Brewing Company. So
That's right. Who knew? I did not know. I just got learnt.
Me too. I did not. Yeah, because we were like, we're going to drink a sour, and then we looked it up, and it was an American Wild Ale. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Now I'm about ready to get turned on 7.5%.
7.5%.
how about the smell? Mike, you're probably the only one that could smell out of the 3 of us today.
Yeah, Brad and I are dealing with some colds.
Yeah, I came down off of it. I'm good now. Let's give this. Can you Can you hear that,
I
guys?
can't. Yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of whiny, to be honest.
Okay.
It does have a kind of a wine,
That smells great, though.
like a dry white wine.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
bit
think
of an illusion.
there's a hint of some. I thought a hint of, or maybe that's the taste. A cherry.
Yeah, it's hard to. I
Let's say
can't.
cranberries. I'm getting
I
a commercial vibe with the dude in the plastic pants or the hip waders wading through the big cranberries and stomping them. And
Okay.
it's on a commercial. Damn it, I know it is.
Okay. So it definitely has a sour bite. It's not the most bitter of sours that I've had. I think there's a very slight hint of some kind of fruit, and I don't.
the taste to me, it's very winey. It tastes like, wine-ish. Probably be a better way to say that. It's very dry.
Wino.
It is dry.
It's very dry.
There's not a heavy carbonation. There wasn't a lot of head
No.
when we poured it out.
Oh no,
Not
it's
at all.
smooth.
It's very smooth, but it's good. It's better than I thought it'd be, actually.
Wow.
It's a little
I'm
bit more of a
surprised.
nitro type carbonation. Not maybe that's to accentuate the sour
Yeah,
for the people that like it.
It's
Like,
copper color. It looks
would it be
it looks like soda.
crazy
It looks
to
like
say
if you poured
this
Coke in
looks
this
a little
glass.
bit like lager?
No, I think it's too dark.
Like
Honestly.
it's coppery. It's a
I think it's
dark,
darker than that. I think-
copper red looking.
Yeah, but I think it's dark. Most lagers aren't that dark, are they?
I think it's too dark. You might be right. I'm straight
my
up looking
opinion.
in
yeah,
the light.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that helps. I mean, it looks like Coke. Like if you poured some sort of soda out, like cola in a glass, it kind of looks like that.
You know? Yeah. And then just like hints of like goofy bright reflection in there.
Yeah,
I cannot believe. Well,
and like
let's keep going.
I was shocked how dark it was when y'all told me you were having a sour.
Yeah.
But then
like
Brad just-
lambics are like
Yeah, and then-
super light looking.
Yeah,
and
And
they're
usually
usually light
clueless
on the alcohol
and
too.
carbonated.
Lambics are usually around 3% alcohol.
not this cat.
This guy's a little bit more of a bear at 7.5%.
You know, I probably should have had this beer when I was watching the Star Wars saga with the kids, and we watched the first one, The Phantom Menace. That's why you're getting all the Jar Jar Binks references, because he's stuck in my head because I hadn't watched it in so long.
He's just such a fan.
Yeah, he's awful. He's bad, and he was the entire movie. It was just sad.
You and comic book store guy are fanboys.
Oh, Jar Jar, everyone hates you but me.
He's
Yeah.
gonna just watch Whose Line Is It Anyway reruns to see Jar Jar's original self be doing skits and whatnot.
Jar, oh my god, he failed up. They made him a general and then a senator. Anyways, so I
Go
don't know.
to the Gungan City. This is a hidden city.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, back to the beer.
And usually I get like a sweet tart vibe from a lot of sours.
Right?
Where like I'm
yeah.
like,
There's no sweet in this guy to me.
No. I mean,
He's very
No,
tart.
it's like a dry wine-ish
It really is.
tart
Yeah.
finish.
It's good though. I'm really surprised how much I enjoy this.
me too, considering
'Cause
I
I
don't
saw
like
it-
sours.
Yeah, well, I
didn't
saw it,
think
was
I
like,
did.
7.5, some weird dark looking thing. What are we getting here? And it's actually really. I mean, it's unexpected the way it tastes. The way it looks is not how I thought it would. It's one of those things where it does not look how it tastes to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, it looks like a porter or something thick, or it's not. It's very light. It's very dry. Very sour.
And I think the cool thing, it's a good change of pace too. If
Absolutely.
you've been drinking, one kind of beer for a long period of time, throw one of these in there, and I don't think it's anything I could probably do 6-pack or even
No.
too many more than one or two. But
Right.
It's like
the
a
one or
palate
two, it's
cleanser.
good change of
Powerful,
pace.
yeah.
It's a good change of pace.
Yeah.
Order your
session.
date one of these. I think she'll appreciate it.
She'll definitely appreciate you more later in the night.
You'll go on down to the cellar
Is
and
she
do
your
some
dweller?
blending.
That's right. Do some blending in the cellar.
It might ferment. I'm sure there's some yeast down there.
Oh, Michael.
We haven't been inappropriate in a while, I guess. So
So-
it was about time.
and we all
It's
knew.
kind of like when my brother blew up and me in the fantasy football playoffs. It was bound to happen, according to him. So
Yes, it was his time.
Oh, he was due. He was due.
He was due, just like we were due for Mike to say something outlandish.
it has been a while. It was quite a streak.
It has been.
It was kind of like Pete Rose-ish, Cal Ripken-ish. It was a long streak.
Probably never
but,
happen again.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Should we glance at what the other guys here think
Let's
of this?
let's see what that's what we thought. What do the other folk think? what was it? Beer Advocate gave it a 3.93 out of 5, which is a very good rating. Although they don't have a picture of the bottle, but that's all right.
This is new.
Seems to be like
Yeah,
trope
right?
scratch beers, like something that's new that's randomly put in
Maybe.
like 12 packs.
Yeah.
Even the labeling is kind of similar.
It's
to
a
trope
limited
scratch
release,
beers, like
yeah.
a lighter label.
Not a lot of work
limited
into
release,
it.
yeah.
Right, yeah, not a lot of, yeah.
Like maybe like one of the local brewers produced this, and this is something they're throwing in the 12 packs. It's something they do sometimes to reward the local brewers.
Yeah. And the other three were pretty common. It was like the Fat Tire Blonde and the 1554.
Yeah.
And another common one. But then three of them were things we had never seen before.
Yeah, it was an Abbey double.
Right. But I think it was kind of like the Amagang Abbey.
Yeah,
But obviously New Belgium-y and probably different.
yeah.
Did you know there's cranberries in this? It says
I think I read that somewhere.
ale brewed with cranberries, cherries, and raspberries.
Yeah,
I don't get any of that fruit. Do you guys?
Yeah?
I tasted a chair. I thought
Really?
to be
I mean,
a cherry,
again, I have
yeah.
a bad head cold, so maybe I'm missing it. I was just curious.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's like cranberry's a good fruit and cherry's a good fruit if you want a sour. I think they're good fruits to kind of accentuate that.
Yeah.
So you can kind of think of sour cranberry. You even think about the like ocean spray bottles you have when you have pure cranberry
Your
juice.
guys,
There's
it's your guys. Yeah,
That's my guy.
There you go. It's your
there's
guy.
a bit
yeah.
of bitterness in there. Oh, do you like the ocean spray?
Well, that was a
That's
commercial.
that's
we
the
talked
commercial.
About.
I just thank you for
those
describing.
old guys in the
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's an
That was
ocean
from many
spray
years
commercial.
Many years back.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But it doesn't make me do the duck face. Like,
Yeah. So overall,
So wait, let's go take a look at Rate a Beer because they love everybody,
it's too new.
but it's too new for Rate a Beer.
they didn't have time to give it
They didn't have time to give it a 98 or 2 or whatever.
anything above 90.
Yeah. So what? But let's see. The ratings are 7 ratings. The mean rating of like what would you call them? Users, I guess, or
Yeah, subscribers.
There we go. Whoever puts comments on Rate a Beer.
The dudes.
Or Rate a Beer. The dudes gave it a 3.61 out of 5. So that's still pretty high.
Yeah, it's not a bad rating. I mean, it's not a style for everyone. Like, there are some people that just don't like sours because they don't like that bitter taste. And I feel like it was the same way when IPAs came out. There were people that didn't like the hops and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
right.
there are
Hop
people that
haters.
just didn't like the style. And I feel like it's kind of similar with sours. A lot of people can appreciate it, but some people just don't dig this sour.
Are all sour? Because I'm just reading the description here. It says this dark ale is fermented with various fruits. I'm sorry. Is blended with various fruits and blended with wood aged sour beer. Oh, so it's the fruits and the wood aged sour beer that are blended.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the sour styles, utilize fruits, not all of them, but looks like these guys with the
did.
wild ale did.
They went wild with it. Wild.
We're tweeting out a picture now, ladies and gents. Give us a like, and we'll give you a shout out.
Say hi there.
I think it was pretty good. I liked it. I do think that,
But like you said, it's more of a one-off. It's not a session type situation.
yeah, and I think the other part was, and this is kind of where the beer snob in me comes out, that a little bit kind of tasted like synthetic, like a macro brew made it, not like somebody made it in their basement. That's what I kind of like with a sour, something that tastes like, something that's been newly created and just something that's unique. And
There's
For
the
some-
market hasn't exploded with them yet.
well, there's
don't
something
think.
about the taste that makes me feel like if I blind taste tested, I could have guessed it came from a macro brew and not like a local.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Brad's
I
found
would
him
never
out.
have gotten
It's
that.
really just Franz
Interesting.
Young die.
Well, I think overall it's pretty good though. I like sours, so it's not hard for me to rate it decently. But it's still middle range because I don't know that I could go further than a few with it. But probably for the style, I think it's about a 3.5 for me.
I give it a 3.25 for me. I like it, but I like it more than I thought because I didn't think I'd enjoy it at all. So the 3.25 is pretty.
I was going to go 3.5.
Yeah, but I can't get too.
All
I could do
someone
more than
that
one.
historically doesn't like sours at all. I enjoy it. I think you'd give it a try if you see it at a bottle shop for
You should definitely give
$3.50
it a
or
go.
whatever it is.
If you see it on tap somewhere, definitely give it a go. 'Cause you
Yeah.
just get
All right.
the one. But
So that's like a 3.41. So we're talking maybe.
I mean, who pounds sour?
3.5.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're a strange character. Maybe one of those Dallas boys down there, dude.
Well, also, I mean, there have been periods of time where there's a sour I liked, and I've had a couple, but it also does weird things to your stomach. I don't think your stomach's used to kind of the stuff that, sours are made of. It just kind of churns it a little bit. Maybe that's just me, but I don't know. We could try a sour Pound Fest one of these days and see what happens.
I'm always up for Pound Fest.
Sounds exciting.
Bringing a new meaning to Pound Town.
Where the fun never ends. The sours are never tart.
So what was our final there? What was our final
3.5, I believe.
3.5.
Rounding.
It was
3.5.
Courtesy of the rounding. Let's do that, by the way, as well.
All right, so we're going to go from this delicious beer to we're going to go around the league real quick since a lot of interesting things happen. Before we dive into the game and our analysis, we're going to talk about what's going on around. It's that time of year. We're going to talk about some of the weirdness happening around the league right now.
Around the league.
Well, you have a lot of coaching vacancies for the bad teams. The Bears being one of them, the Lions being one of them, the Giants being one of them. Quite a few teams are looking for coaches.
The Raiders got one.
The Raiders did get one for a lot of years and a lot of money. Somebody reaches into the Andy Reid coaching tree once again and takes a local product. A guy here from Lancaster County used to be a quarterback here in high school. All of a sudden is now the head coach of the Chicago Bears. That's kind of exciting.
Central PA in the house.
It's kind of crazy. I just want to give props to Andy Reid and his coaching tree. Just think about the starting head coaches that are in the league now. Obviously, Peterson. You have Harbaugh, won a Super Bowl.
John. Yep.
Ron Rivera went to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Todd Bowles, I'm not really sure about that one, but he's still a head coach in the league. And McDermott just went to the playoffs with the Bills after his first year.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
McDermott. Marty Morningwig was a head coach for a while. That might have been before or after. I'm not sure. And
Doug.
And Childress. I see that
That's
right there.
it,
Brad
Childress.
Childress
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Leslie Frazier also was a Jim Johnson guy under Andy.
And Pat Shurmur.
Who very well might get a job again.
Probably looking to get another job again. So that's pretty crazy that Andy Reid's put all those coaches out there with coaching success. It's like the modern day.
Spags. We didn't even talk about Spags.
Yeah, Spags. And there's also talk of Spags coming to the Eagles if Jim Schwartz leaves as head coach. So
really?
That'd be a great addition to our team. He's a good defensive coordinator, I think. I think he'd do well with the talent around him. So
we can say Spags all the time.
Spags. I love Spags.
I like it.
Spags. None of this switching to 3-4 again. Like, no, you stick with the same scheme. You don't waste assets. Like, he would be a good fit.
Yeah, you have players to fit a certain scheme, so you want to stay as close as possible. Because when you deviate, then players' performance suffers, and
then you're
just
giving
creates
away
problems.
assets for nothing.
So, yeah, props to Andy Reid. It's like the modern day Bill Walsh. It started with Bill Walsh coaching tree. Everybody's like, oh, was you part of the Bill Walsh coaching tree? And then all of a sudden, I think the modern day one is the Andy Reid one. That's pretty successful. A bunch of coaches that he has there that have worked under him. And
if only he could learn to run. Embrace the run.
Well, maybe he's better as a mentor than a coach.
I kind of think so.
Practice coach. He's a practice coach.
Yeah. It could be. It could be. But still, props to him that he identifies strong people, he develops people, and he puts them in position to succeed when they become coaches. Actually, one of the people under him, Harbaugh, has actually won more Super Bowls than he has. But
technically, there'd be anybody on the list that won
I believe
a Super Bowl.
Spagnuolo has more rings as well.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads to the better mentor than coach theory, but we'll see.
Tell that quick story you were saying earlier about the Gruden thing.
Oh, yeah. So anyway.
Because that blew my mind. I never made that
John
connection.
Gruden was the coach of the Raiders in 1998 to 2001. And there was some kind of turmoil in the league. I don't think Al Davis really wanted to trade him, but Tampa Bay, for some reason, really wanted John Gruden as coach. So finally, after a lot of back and forth,
big fan of Chucky.
As compensation, Tampa Bay decided to give up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and $8 million.
Were they in the same year?
They'd have to be in consecutive years. Okay. But still, that limits what you can do with your team at that point. And then he ended up taking over for Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay and winning a Super Bowl there. And then Al Davis's son, Mark Davis, ends up Is that his name? I think it's Mark Davis.
Yeah, with the Lloyd Christmas looking haircut. Yeah.
So Mark Davis, since that day, has pretty much said, well, since the day his dad passed and he took over control of the team, and I think that was about 2007, somewhere around there, 2008.
Right.
For the last decade, has been pursuing Gruden, and Gruden has continually said, no, now's not the right time, blah, 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 blah. But he finally upped the ante to $100 million over 10 years, and he finally said yes, and he said, I've been working on this for 10 years, and I guess that's what rich people do. They just hyper-focus on this quarterback guy on TV.
You don't have to worry about paying your bills.
Daddy did a bad job, and maybe he just wants to get him on that contract and trade him for a first and a second, 2 firsts and 2 seconds and $8 million to somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
remember that
That's $10 million a year
Gruden
for 10
won the
years.
Super Bowl against the Raiders, Rich Gannon that year.
Right.
With Jerry Rice and Tim Brown.
they just blew him out of the wire. I think the score was like 51-10, something like that. It was a complete blowout.
It was savage.
Destroyed them. And I have to think that his inherent knowledge of the players that he was playing against was a distinct advantage at the time.
I think you're probably right.
Tony Dungy setting the table helped.
But yeah, now Gruden's back, and we'll see how good he was. Did he just inherit a good team and win a Super Bowl, or is he a really good coach? Will Derek Carr respond to his
how successful
stimulus?
was he after that Super Bowl win? I don't remember.
Not too far. Not too far.
but I
He
mean,
got run out
wasn't-
of town maybe 3 or 4 years later.
He made a couple playoffs, didn't win any
Yeah,
playoff
right. That's what I
games.
remember. Okay.
Took a few shots at some QBs, none of which worked out. So
Right.
then that was kind of it.
But he's a quarterback guru.
That's what I'm told.
Well, but
you
the
can
thing
only,
is,
you can only work
Like,
with
who
what
knows?
you got.
If you
yeah.
get 2 shots and they both suck, like
Right.
the law of averages, who knows?
here's
even
other.
if you're a good sculptor, you can't do much with sand.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing too. If you inherit that team, you have no first or second round pick for 2 years. So how are you going to impair the development
true
of the team
also.
coming through?
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
You have no high end
He
talent
paid the
coming
price
in.
for his own coming over, didn't he?
And,
yeah.
and everybody, they won the Super
hilarious.
Bowl the first year. So Simeon Rice and all those players on the team were like,
And Derek
I want my
Brooks.
money. I want
Yep.
my money. I want my money. So they were capped out.
Remember
they
that
had no
safety
draft picks.
Dexter something? He left too.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were capped out. Everybody wanted their money. People ended up
that's true.
leaving. They had no young players to backfill. In 3 or 4 years, they were struggling. So
Right.
Yeah.
Remember Michael Pittman with like 20-inch biceps was a running back. Remember him?
yeah, I do.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
He was a beast. But like in
Wasn't
a
Allstott on that team too?
Yeah, I believe he was.
but like in a
so.
in a Daryl Boston kind of way, where like you're impressed with it, but you're not that good of a player.
You, like
Right.
lift yourself
David
out of
Boston,
the league.
yeah.
Yeah. He said he wanted to be the first 300-pound wide receiver.
You
I'll
don't
never
though.
forget that
You
line.
don't though. I break tackles. Yeah, but you can't run.
Yeah, you can't move, man.
All right, so Gruden inherits a middle of the road team. So this will probably determine how good a coach he is. If they head upward, he's a good coach. If they head downward, maybe not so much. Can he get Derek Carr to respond? I don't know. He had an off year.
He's also had about a decade to prepare for this job again.
Is that good or bad though?
It can be bad, but
I mean, that's a long time.
But he
out
had
of
his
the-
hand in the game. It's not like he was away from the game. He was still, he's still watching film and preparing for games, to be a commentator. So it's not like he was completely away. But I do agree that not being down on the field it's not the same being in the booth.
I read like a pretty cool article about his office, in quotes, which was like some place he rented out of a strip mall that he used to just kind of sit in the back room and just watch tons of tape on TV and whatnot.
Man, you could build a man cave or something.
No, legit, he rented a place in a strip mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's more
And
going
it
on
was
there.
like
than-
it was like his dark little back room to just study and not get bothered by anybody. And
maybe he got a deal.
Interesting.
he's an interesting guy. I'm not a huge fan of him as a coach.
He's a strange fellow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with so many other vacancies out there, the Eagles may lose some people. They blocked Douglas from going and interviewing for the GM position in
Good.
the Texans. The Texans wanted to interview him.
I don't want brain drain after year 2.
They let DiFilippo go interview for the Bears thing. He didn't get it. Matt Nagy obviously got it. We talked about that a little bit earlier. And Schwartz, obviously, after this playoff run is done, is going to get a chance to interview with some people and is probably going to go.
I read that
Yeah.
so far he only had one interview request, and it was with the Giants. Schwartz did.
Yeah.
Didn't something happen there, though, where like the Giants didn't schedule it in time?
Yeah,
or
they had
something
like a
bizarre?
scheduling snafu. They probably weren't super interested in him.
I was thinking, how do you have a scheduling snafu? Why don't you just say, whenever you can do it?
I think they kind of said, I think we're going to get Patricia, so we don't need to interview you anymore. That's what I'm assuming.
But I still think some
Where
of
did
these
he
teams.
coach before? Where did Schwartz? Was it the Lions?
He did coach the Lions.
Head coaches of the Lions, they weren't very good.
He did, though, in 16. So
Yeah,
he was probably celebrating when Cleveland lost their 16th game.
He's like, not the worst coach anymore.
And then D coordinator in Buffalo, and they were really good.
Yeah. He's done well as a D coordinator. Has not done well. Only had one chance as a head coach, but
It wasn't a smashing success. How long was he the
No.
coach there? Y'all remember? 3 years?
Only 2 or
maybe?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember him being like a hothead that chased down another coach
Harbaugh.
after a
It
game.
was him and when Harbaugh was at San Francisco. He and Harbaugh almost
Oh,
went
was
at
that it?
Yeah, they were going head to head.
Like,
And that was
somebody-
pretty
Oh,
that's
badass.
right, yeah.
And Schwartz is just like barking at him,
Yes.
and Harbaugh's just kind of like running straight. And surprised Harbaugh didn't snap, really, but that would have been a hell of a fight. But
Oh, that would be great.
yeah, Schwartz was a big hothead as a head coach. So hopefully he's calmed down a little bit as far as that goes. But he'll get another chance. There's some coordinators that are destined to be coordinators. They want to be head coaches, like Wade Phillips and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
Wade
But it
Phillips
proves
just like
time and
Mama.
time again that they're better coordinators than coaches. So we'll see. He gets a second shot. I mean, look, Belichick coached in Cleveland, got let go, and then goes and now he's the greatest coach ever, probably.
Yeah, yeah, he has to be, really. The success he's had, I don't think he takes. I don't like Belichick or the New England Patriots, but you can't. The man's very good at what he does.
Yeah. So he got a chance. He was bad. Well, not great. He actually did have some decent years with Cleveland. He wasn't completely horrible.
That in
But-
itself is a miracle at this point, too.
Yeah.
that kind of adds points to his win column for me.
Yeah.
So I read about this like management theory recently. It was as it was applying to the NFL called the Peter Principle, which basically states that if you're okay at a job or adequate, you keep getting promoted until you fail. And organizations just get filled with these people that are stuck in jobs that they're no longer good at because they got promoted too damn high.
Like Jar Jar Binks.
He's the Dark Lord.
They made him a general and then a senator, and Jar Jar sucks. All right, that's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
But like I can definitely see that in coordinators. Like how many damn coordinators do you see goes to head coach and suddenly they're no good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't spend enough time getting ready. Or they're just not. That's just not what they're.
It's almost
skill
like it
set is,
requires
or-
two different
skill
skill
set.
sets.
It is.
Then you got like dudes
Fair
like
enough,
Andy
yeah.
Reid that were just QB coach. Like it's almost not what job you had prior. It's like
Wasn't
it's a
Gruden the
different
QB coach
skill
too?
set.
Yeah. Do you think Gruden
Yes,
what?
he was in Philly.
Gruden was a QB coach as well, right? Wasn't he QB coach before he became?
I thought he was our offensive coordinator. Maybe he was just QB coach at the time. But
But that was back under Ray Rhodes.
Oh my God! Wow. That's in the Wayback Machine.
it was
Yeah.
mid 90s, yeah.
So he's going to get? Marshawn Lynch. He's going to get. I wonder how he and Marshawn are going to get on.
They said there could be personality conflict there.
Yeah,
They're both strong personalities.
I read they never
think
met
so.
before.
Really?
Yeah.
He wasn't one of Gruden's grinders ever.
He was busy with Bear Grylls up in wherever they were. Doing Survivor Man or Man vs. Wild.
Man vs.
Lighting
Wild.
dreads on fire.
Really?
Yeah, that's how they started a fire the one time.
I should go see that episode.
That was a good episode. And then Bear Grylls is like, we need to cuddle to stay warm. And he's like, I got a hoodie.
Oh, there's another new note, too. To replace Matt Nagy, Eric Sleeping with Bieniemy is now the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs.
What?
You don't remember that nickname?
No, I
University
do not.
of Colorado running back Eric sleeping with Bieniemy.
That is a new one to this guy.
Yeah, that's an oldie but goodie.
Ready to run.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, probably should be ready to pass, but definitely not anything ready to run.
Andy Reid wants to rename the punt, pass, and kick the pass, pass, and pass.
Yeah. I don't know why you need to punt or any of that part. You just throw it all the time.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, a lot of crazy things going on. Some things which may impact the Eagles, some things which are going to impact other teams. But as time goes on, week to week, we'll kind of update things and let you know what we're thinking about and what the new hires, how they might impact the Eagles or just the league in general.
Why not? Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us, folks. We are X number of minutes in. Now let's talk about the Birds.
That's right. Enough about John Gruden.
Yeah. Oh, don't we have a playoff game or something this
I
week?
heard something like that. Well, first the Falcons and the Rams played each other because the Eagles had a nice bye week because they did so well this year. So we watched a little bit of the Falcons and Rams. What did you guys think? I mean, I had the Rams taking the Falcons when I made my pick in this game.
Yeah, the experience showed a little bit. The Rams had some mistakes they did not make in the regular season.
A couple of muff punts, bad special teams action.
They had two really bad special teams.
Gaffes.
Yeah. Which probably cost them the game, really.
But that's why I wasn't as impressed with Atlanta.
But kudos to Sarkisian and Atlanta for changing their offensive game plan. Usually they have been a throw down the field kind of team and then kind of run a little bit mixed in. But this time they went to the short passing game, more accurate short passes, held onto the ball for 37 and a half minutes out of 60.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
I mean, the time of possession was
ridiculous.
Was crucial. Yeah, I mean, that was keep the Rams offense off the field, a couple turnovers by the Rams, and it was kind of all she wrote. Now, they didn't run particularly well. They just ran enough to control the ball. The yards per carry, I think, was under 4. So they weren't running well, but they were controlling the clock. Matt Ryan would throw short passes to move the sticks, and they controlled the ball. They almost pulled like what the Eagles want to pull this week against them.
Yes.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Pretty much.
But now...
And Rams D didn't look as vicious as it had been throughout the year. They look like... I guess because they changed the game plan on
because they're throwing short passes,
I mean, when
it's
you
harder
got a
to get
short
to the
field to defend, too.
So they're going Giants Eli with them like they did to us. Like, let's just get out real quick and...
Slant.
Slant and go.
Slant
Touchdown.
and go. Actually, that doesn't bode well because...
So I am interested to see if they try to do the same thing to us this week.
Yeah.
So what do you do when two teams are trying to control the ball by running and short passes? Advantage who? Well, our defense is better. Their offense is better. Who has advantage overall?
That's a tough one.
I tend to lean towards defenses in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on who makes the most mistakes at that point.
But is our pass rush mitigated by the fact that they're going to a short passing game and running?
I guess it depends if they're getting 4 yards on first down or 2 yards on first down.
I guess the real question is that number one run defense, is that legitimate? Or is that because of Carson and the ball control offense that we had?
Yeah. Is it that Dallas situation? Same kind of thing where they come from a year ago when they're holding the ball 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's the...
It's kind of the inverse of the Chip Kelly theory where he's like, I want 1 million possessions and I don't care what play you run, just run it fast.
Right.
It's
No,
like
you want to go the opposite.
if you ensure the other team doesn't get possessions.
Yeah, they can't score if they're on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, did you guys see anything else in the Falcons-Rams game you took note of? I mean,
Todd Gurley's a man.
Todd Gurley's a man, yeah.
Underutilized him.
They did.
14 carries for 101 yards.
Are you worried about anything that was running? I mean, what you saw between those? Because Atlanta has 2 decent running backs. They don't have one great one, but they have 2 decent running backs. You worried about that at all, those 2 guys?
We've shut down better running backs. I'm not worried about them.
So what? All right.
I mean, maybe you are.
Not particularly. I've wanted to like Tevin Coleman for a while, and he still doesn't do it for me. And I don't like Devontae Freeman, and I'm still impressed with him every time I watch him.
Okay, you did all right, kid, but I still just...
He's a good receiving back. I don't think he's a great running back, but both those backs can catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm worried about short screens more than running itself. So,
yeah, but I don't know if we just...
And they said Julio's dinged up. which is good.
Yeah, he's always dinged up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know. We average only giving up 13.5 points per game at home this year. So, what's going to give is their offense going to step up and show us kind of that we are kind of a fraud right now?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, they could.
I mean, look at the yards per carry for these guys, even though they controlled the clock. 30 between the two of them, they averaged like
18 for 66.
Freeman, Devontae Freeman had 18 carries. God, he had 18 carries for 66 yards for 3.7 a yard and a touchdown. What Coleman have 14 carries for 40 yards. Yeah, I guess 2.9 a carry.
Oh, Julio scores now that it's the playoffs. Get out of here, Julio.
Thanks, Julio.
I'm hoping they go back to the ignoring Julio game plan.
Yeah,
for
why
this
don't you
week.
do that? Now that my fantasy team is no longer
Right.
I'll see.
cooking.
Like I said, his lower leg's a little messed up, so I don't know.
9 for 94 and a touch. I bet that would have been his second best scoring game this year.
Probably because of the
easy.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think the Eagles' defense can slow that down. I think it's going to take, if the Eagles can hold them to 20 points or less, they have a really good chance of winning the game.
They can't get behind either, in my opinion. I think they got to strike first and stay ahead because this
actually
current
have
Eagles
Go
is
ahead.
not built for coming from behind, it seems.
Atlanta's defense is built for precisely that.
Right.
They're small, but they got some
They
pass, rushers.
They do.
Yeah.
They do, and you don't want to be forced to drop back and pass every down.
Like, who's that guy that gave Jason Peters trouble? Vic Beasley.
Yeah.
Vic Beasley.
The bees.
And there's also the guy that
They line him up on Vitae. That's going to be a problem all game.
the guy when
anybody with
Tyron
Vitae's
Smith
gonna
was
be a
hurt.
problem.
They played the Cowboys. Tyron Smith was hurt this year. The guy that had 6
yeah.
sacks.
Yeah, that's right. Was he a rookie?
No,
Who was that guy? Yeah.
wow, he had like 6 sacks. In the
Oh,
game.
yeah, that guy. Yeah. Oh, what was his name? He looks like a Viking, too. He's the awesome dreads. He was pretty impressive.
Adrian Claiborne.
Yeah, that's who it was.
That's right. He looks kind of like Clowney. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean they have people that can rush the passer, so don't get in that situation where you have to do 5 and 7 step drops. I mean, you
Oh,
could
no.
put yourself
with
in
Nick Foles engaged backpedal mode.
Fleeto
Not
foot.
with the wooden soldier back there. Yeah.
I mean, the first thing you have to be worried about is him tripping over his own feet. Then, if you
And-
get past that, then
and
you have to
catching the
start
snap.
worrying about catching the snap, not tripping on his own feet, then the pass rush.
Oh, no.
That's like a trifecta that you don't want to
no.
get.
Then hopefully he picks the right guy
Before
to
the
throw
ball
it
even
to.
gets in the air. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, that won't bode well for our game prospects.
Nelson Aguilar bubble screen game.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to go to him a lot because they have the D-backs. Like, I think that Trufont's probably going to take Alshon Jeffrey out of the game.
And he's good.
And they have a who's the coverage linebacker? Is that McKinley? No, it's not McKinley. It's
Tack? McKinley? No, he's a pass rusher.
I forget. They have a pretty good linebacker that may give Ertz some trouble.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to get the tertiary people like Nelson Aguilar open because your first 2 options may be shut down. So you have to get your Aguilar open. Maybe you have to get Matt Collins in the game. Maybe
Ooh,
you have
that
to,
would be nice.
Maybe you have to cross your fingers and hope Torrey Smith catches the ball.
What about
Oh,
Ertz?
I don't know about all that.
What about the Ertz?
They have a linebacker that's pretty good at covering tight ends.
Maybe it's a Trey Burton situation.
How they with the run? What if we get a
They
Jai
average
finally gets his legs?
104 yards per game. They give up. We give up 79. So you can run. You can run against them. And we will have to. But the thing is, like, that's what they're going to play for. They're going to come press, and they're going to play the short zones, and they're going to say, Nick Foles beat us over the top. And
Deion Jones.
And they're going to say, and they're going to say, you can't run against us. You can't throw short against us. So throw it over the top.
Should we sign Riley Cooper right now and just chuck bombs to him?
No.
Hope it snows like a foot and a half.
Across the room at each other, but now we have over 4.
Oh, that's an interesting commercial that we're not getting paid for yet.
Awesome. I
all
hate
right.
you, NFL.com.
I was thinking about just creating like fake commercials so it sounds like we're sponsored.
Right. I thought about that too, actually. Hi there. Yeah.
Come on down to Bob's Beers.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about your family's safety in an SUV? Well, we have a Toyota Tundra for you. The new SUV Even though Tundra's a truck.
So I think
Like at the frozen tundra of Green Bay.
I think that Matt Collins can be that Riley Cooper guy. Actually, he has better hands. So
I think you're right.
you can throw along to that guy, and probably a better chance of him catching it.
Right. And I know Keanu Neal can be burnt deep because he's more of a box guy.
And I think that like the play action pass with deep throws has to be offset by a lot of runs. I think we got to punch him, beat him up, and hopefully by the end of the game we'll be in a position where we can wear him down.
Oh, when did they get enough? Don Terry Poe.
Oh, this past year from Kansas City.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's got to be Brandon Brooks ganging up on him with Kelsey every play because he's like 330 pounds that can move. That's not something Kelsey needs to be dealing with.
No. I think we'll be okay, though. They gave up some yards to some rushers this year, so, they were about 10th in the league. So it wasn't impossible to run against them. And our right-hand side's pretty good. I mean, I run behind Lane Johnson and Brooks.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to come down to turnovers and penalties. So if they can keep that, I think whoever makes the most penalties creates the most turnovers. That's what it's going to be.
The thing is that penalties are subjective. Like whatever ref's calling, you can really call a penalty in every single play if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Well, didn't we get that one ref we didn't want to?
I'm looking right now. There's two of them that I hate.
I think we got at least one of them.
Like that one game where we started the first 4 offensive plays were penalties.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we got Bill Vinovich. He's not one of the... I hate Mike Carey.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of the one other guy. Roselli, something like that.
Yeah, I think that Roselli. Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah.
Not Pete Rozelle, but it's something that sounds like Roselli. Yeah, and Mike Carey are the two that I really hate. So Bill Vinovich is okay. You've seen his face before. He looks like he's...
Thinks he's a lot more important than he is.
T-ball game. After polishing off a 6-pack of Schmidt Lager.
But he's still going to judge you for your... Look here, long hair.
Yeah.
What kind of life you leading there, pal?
Well, I think that...
Well, they're 2-6 in games officiated by Vinovich. Game over.
Foles will have to be accurate. Foles will have to make a couple plays downfield. It can't be all short. They'll catch on to that. They'll move
shot
forward
player
on it.
too.
You've got to have a couple deep throws just to keep them honest. Hopefully, connect on one or two of them, and they're going to have to score. They're going to have to score at least 20 points.
Yeah, and I'm hoping a Jai can bust out this game. Like I'm really.
I hope he gets 25 carries.
50 would be nice. Yeah.
Well, you got to find out what you have anyway. I mean, you only have him for one more year, so
let her rip, Tater Chip.
Right.
I mean, why put it all on Foles? Because it doesn't seem like he's...
Especially if they're not down like 10-plus points.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they need to be
ahead.
ahead, because then you can unleash those guys. Because I don't know if Doug's going to get all Andy Reid and be like, we just have to stop running now. So
well, but the thing is, what they're going to try to do is get them into the mode where they have to pass. And
they're going to load the box the whole time.
They're going to bring safeties up, and there's going to be 8-9 in the box for their early game time. And that's when you have to take your shot. Like, you're going to have to run to make them think you're going to run, and then you're going to have to go play action pass and try to hit somebody deep and something big.
Yeah.
Make them pay. Make that safety think twice before he crawls up in the box.
Absolutely.
You got to...
Yeah, maybe Torrey gets another one of his 50 yards pass interference calls.
Torrey's good at that. That's his
That's his role in the
exactly.
offense.
He's there to get pass interference.
You'd almost rather see a defender like interfering with him than him have a chance to catch the ball.
Kind of would.
I wonder if the defender's going to be no, just don't.
I'll back off.
Yeah, just let him.
There's nobody within
You're
30
not
yards
gonna
of him.
catch it.
And then they'll be like, see, he
Watch.
dropped it.
Yeah.
He dropped it again.
Like Jordan stepping back on Muggsy Bogues and be like, shoot the thing. I dare you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about them being underdogs? I mean, they're 3-point underdogs, and that's the first time a number one seed.
Should
Love
be.
it.
You like that? I mean, it seems to be getting the boys
For
off.
the motivation factor. Yeah.
Because that's what I've been reading. Like, the boys been like talking. Cox especially is like we're being disrespected. Lane said, "Don't call us the Browns." Like he is pissed.
How do the Browns feel about that? Like we are the Browns.
The Browns know what they are, and the Browns have been awful. So whatever shame they feel,
The Browns actually did have an 0-16
yeah.
parade. Over
they
3,000
did.
people went.
How hilarious was that?
Wow.
Did you
I
see
thought
the
that was a
pictures?
joke.
They opened up the stadium
It
for
was
it.
packed.
Yeah.
Like I was
was
looking at
negative
pictures
10
online.
Like a
degrees.
hipster joke type thing that's actually
No,
ironic.
it was for a charity. It was for
Oh, was it? I didn't know that part.
It was for a homeless shelter. They gave food.
Oh,
Oh, that's lovely.
And so
I would have gone.
The
We would have gone. Stop
definitely
it.
would've
We
gone.
would have gone.
Yeah, it was -10 with like 30-mile-per-hour winds. I'm not sure I would have went.
They're
And
used to that in
plus-
Cleveland.
All right. I actually did turn down Mummers recently because it was too damn cold.
That's true.
But yeah, I think the Eagles, they've got a shot, but they should be underdogs.
They should be.
I mean, look at their quarterback. They have the worst quarterback in the playoffs right now.
Oh my God, yeah, they really do.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you be an underdog?
Yeah, I mean Blake Bortles is better.
Probably.
Just because he doesn't have cement blocks for feet.
Yeah.
And he probably has a better defense to work with.
Oh well, I mean Case. Oh.
I'm going to say Schwartz messes up Matt Ryan.
Yeah, if they get to Matt Ryan, I think they're going to do all right.
I think
if
they
have
got
time
something
to.
in store for him.
But I
hope
mean,
so.
but wasn't Matt Ryan going with that short step drop thing? Isn't that what?
That's what he did when they thought McVay was going to do that to him.
Jalen Mills
But
will
isn't
sit
that what
all over
Sean
that.
said was like, that high school shit? Isn't that what Sean said is the Eagles' bane? Is that quick step, get rid of the ball, quick shit?
Yeah,
like if
'cause
they're doing that all over the
They
Rams,
play
I'm a little-
outside. They lean in and
Bringing
they
up good points.
they give people the slants. I mean, that's the one thing.
He used to say catch.
But who knows? Maybe there's a wrinkle in Schwartz's scheme to counter that.
Yeah, hopefully he's learned by now.
Yeah.
I mean,
But a
learn
lot of
some.
coaches stick to what they do.
Right.
We'll see.
I mean, I'm a little nervous about it, but I think they have a shot. Though I mean, I think they have a shot.
They have a shot.
I think they have a legit shot to go to this. I mean, other than the Patriots, I don't see any real killers. Maybe the Saints, but who else do you see?
Steelers.
Oh,
I don't
yes.
want to play the Steelers.
No.
I'm not worried about the Steelers.
Well, we won't get there. But
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But in the
they
NFC,
just lose this week.
in the NFC, I don't see anybody. I mean, maybe the Rams, but I mean, are you that scared of Minnesota? I mean, maybe I guess I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
their defense is really good. Their defense is
Yeah.
better than our defense, and their offense is probably, with Keenum, is better than our offense. So.
Really want to
Yeah.
play the Rams or the Vikings.
Well, the Rams are gone, so I don't have to worry about that.
Oh, the Saints are Vikings. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably want to.
I know. I'm actually kind of happy that I would have picked I would have rather played the Falcons than play the Rams.
I probably want to play the Vikings just because of the Case Keenum factor. I mean, they made Brees pass last week, and he threw for almost 400 yards.
Yeah.
He's still Drew Brees.
Yeah.
He's still Drew Brees.
Like, oh, shocker, guys.
He wasn't Drew Brees because he didn't have to be, but when he has to be,
right.
he still can be. So.
Yeah, he can still pull that out. He goes,
Hall
oh,
of
these
Fame
running backs.
quarterback
Yeah.
with
I'm
a
gonna
running
work out.
game and a defense. Like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to play that.
No. Oh, those running
I'd rather
backs are
have Schwartz have a
ridiculous.
chance to come up with a game plan for Case Keenum and win in a slugfest, a low-scoring slugfest.
Yeah.
As much as I love the spark monster, Jerick McKinnon, like their running game's not super intense.
No.
No, but that's a filthy defense.
But one game at a time. Hopefully,
That's
we get
right. That's right.
we get a close win here. I mean, I don't think there's any chance.
So
it could
what
be
do
a
you think they
blowout.
need to do to win, though? They basically need to beat up on Ryan.
They
mean,
need to keep running the ball and keep running the ball until
Yes,
they
I agree.
until they take control and wear them down. They'll have to take some shots downfield, and Foles will have to hit on a couple of them. He can't turn the ball over, and the defense is going to have to kind of limit what the Falcons can do on offense.
And if we can get some special teams goodness, that'd be good, too. If we get a punt run back or maybe something blocked on their side, that would really help. But I think, what it's a 3 point. 3 points is not much. So it's generally
No, but they're saying coming to your field that the other team's still favored is.
Well, yeah, and you're the
saying
number
something.
one
Kind
seed.
of 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're the number one seed. But it's the number one seed without the best player. You
Yeah.
know, so
We'll see what happens.
we will.
It's a lot of it's going to depend on good Foles or bad Foles.
we need good Foles.
We need at least moderate Foles.
We need
We can't have bad Foles. We can't
have
have
bad
4 for 11 for 39 yards and a pick Foles.
no.
Yeah, he's got to be better.
He's got to be better.
It's going to be Nate Sudfeld time, guys.
Oh, he's gonna be like
Studfeld.
So is he gonna be like that kid in Alabama?
yeah, whom I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, they're
but
gonna Tao something whatever.
Marcus Mariota's boy.
Yeah, so they're gonna bring him in. He's gonna win it.
Maybe.
Throw it to like their Torrey Smith kind of thing. Yeah.
We doing predictions? I'm going to go with a prediction here.
All right. What are you thinking, buddy?
I'm going to go anti my normal thoughts. I'm going to 30-17. Birds.
Okay, I was
Wow.
waiting. I was like,
Yeah. Go Birds. No. I
30?
think-
I think they're bad, huh?
Occasionally, when they get fired up like this and they have multiple
The
weeks
boys
to
are
prepare,
mad, yeah. Especially the big boys up front. On both sides are mad.
I could see Bad Nick coming out again in the championship week, but I think we will get a good game out of this one.
Think so, huh?
I mean, he hits on a couple shot plays. Suddenly, he looks much better than he really is. But yeah,
True.
I believe on the
And
defense.
if he
And I
hits a
don't
couple
believe in the
big
Falcons.
plays early, then the running game opens up. And
Yeah.
Boom.
things change.
They can thunder and
Yep.
lightning them, yeah.
If they come out passing just when the Falcons expect them to come out running, they hit a big play or two.
Corey Clement gets that touchdown.
Ooh.
Sneaky Corey Clement.
I think I'm going to go 23-20 Eagles. I think we were able to win a close game. And the 12th man, the fans will help the defense be inspired and put on a pretty good show. So
I'm going to go 17-14 Eagles. I think it's going to be a grind-out slugfest. And I think it's going to come down to a field goal at the end.
Grinding.
It's going to be, yeah.
Well,
That's
we
what I'm
will be
saying.
here to commentate.
That's right. We'll be watching this in the world-famous lounge ourselves.
Yeah, we might be live.
maybe.
We're going to try. So,
You're saying there's a chance.
saying there's a chance. A decent one at that.
We might not get another shot till next year.
That's right. We might not get another shot for a while. So enjoy while you can, folks.
Yeah.
Eagles are in the playoffs for the first time in a bit. So.
Oh, I meant at a live podcast, but
Sure.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
all right.
I think we're all on the exact same page, actually.
Me so confused. All right.
I thought you guys were saying a chance for a win.
Now it's a chance for a win. Oh.
Both 1 in a million?
No, one
Live
year.
podcast
saying
and
there's a
chance to win? Mary Samsonite?
Willie, Swanee, Swanson.
All right. Well, we're all pulling for a win. We're all predicting a win. I believe in the win. I think they're going to take them. So go Birds, boys. Have anything else to say?
Go Birds.
Sean's predicting the Eagles lose 40-3.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a Sean.
That's it for us. Enjoy the game, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
Now it's not consequential.
Take care. Good night, and we love you. Beers and Birds is a Lounge Legends production. With free beer tomorrow and a $5 charge for whining.
Are you ready? Here comes the real blues. Yeah! Woo! Show the love, Philadelphia.
Let's go, Philly, stand up.
And we brought it every doggone play.
See, I cheer for a team with fans that just like noise. Tailgate morning, freak out at night, boys. Eagle songs that make you get hype, boy. It's Mr. Reed. And I'm your favorite white boy, Stevie Wright, boy. And I'm bleeding green. Now I'm about to show you what this means to me. Come on, scream with me. Yeah, where's my people?
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!